Okay.
And you're live.
All right. It is now 1:37 and I am calling the April 18th, 2023 meeting of the Akron Tree Commission to order. Has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anybody have anything they want to correct or whatever? If not, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Motion to approve?
Okay, and second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll do it as a roll call so I can make sure I hear everyone. Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Bibiano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Vredenberg,
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion to approve the minutes passes 5-0.
Okay. And then the April 6th working group. Everybody good with those?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes as written.
So move.
Okay,
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Bibiano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Vredenberg,
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay, fabulous. And that brings us to our new business, which is public hearing over objections to the current street tree planting program. I guess we could bring Mr. Howe in at this point. Mr. Howe, are you with us? Hello?
Unmute yourself, Mr. Howe.
Okay, there you are. Good afternoon. Is it possible for you to turn on your camera?
I think so. Let's see. Start video, maybe?
There you are.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah, there you are. Great. So this is a public hearing. At some point, our law director or law person will swear you in.
Oh.
Okay.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there.
Oh,
Okay, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to give is the truth? If so, please answer, I do.
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Officially sworn in.
Okay. Tell us in your words what your objection is to the planting.
Well, I'm approaching 65.
Okay.
And I maintain the whole property myself. Having a tree in the front property makes maintaining it that much more difficult because you got to mow around it and so forth and so on. Not to mention, they just came through, the city did, and put a new water line in. And so now I got to worry about putting in new grass, even though Kenmore Construction came through and supposedly sowed grass, laid some hay down, right? But I only see like one little patch starting to grow. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, whether it's my responsibility to take care of it and, you know, nurture it back to health or what I'm going to do there. I realize that the property right there from the Devil Strip to the sidewalk belongs to the city. I mean, it really does.
Correct.
And I really can't prevent you from planting a tree, right?
Correct.
If you want to plant a tree, you're going to plant a tree. But I had some questions too. Like,
Okay.
will having the tree increase my property taxes or hurt my chances of selling my home someday?
I don't see how that would be possible.
Okay.
I don't know that there are any studies about that, but usually trees enhance a neighborhood.
Okay. And this is called an autumn brilliance something tree, right? Service berry, right?
Right.
Does it actually produce berries?
Yes. Service berries are delicious.
Oh, so they're safe for human consumption?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Uh,
And they're very pretty.
okay. Well, I see some of the trees that they planted already have bloom, or they have something on them, blossom.
Mhm.
On one side of the street. The other side of the street, they haven't done nothing as far as blossoming.
Okay.
Trees on one side are taller than the other ones. Not, I don't know if that makes any difference. But is there going to be any reduction in my water or sewer because now I'm helping to control the runoff?
Would that we all have that?
Well, okay.
John, excuse me, I'm talking to John Malish. He's our arborist. Feel free to jump in here at any point if there's information that you think is relevant.
Yeah, the one side, your side of the street is the Autumn Brilliance Serviceberry
Right.
because you have the wires on your side of the road.
Oh,
So these will only get 15 feet in height. And that's the reason for that size difference. On the opposite side of the street, you have Northern Red Oak.
okay.
So that will get much larger. And you have, I believe that's at least a 17-foot wide street lawn or devil strip. I mean, it's one of some of the largest real estate we have in the city when we're looking at street lawns. So it can support a massive size tree.
All right. Now, when the tree gets older, or okay, and you have to come, will you have to come and trim it out so it's not interfering with the wires?
No, it will never interfere with those wires. That variety will never interfere with those.
Okay, because the reason I asked is where there are trees, right? They look like scarecrows because
Yes.
the city has come through and trimmed them out.
And those are red maple. Yeah, those are red maple that are underneath the wires that are all V'd out right now.
Okay. Will having the tree obstruct my view of the street backing out?
No, it should not.
Okay, all right. Now, this is unrelated to the tree, but maybe it isn't. The sidewalks have been, because of the different water breaks that we've had on this street in the last 5 years, let's say, have all been washed out underneath. And they're sitting cattywampus to one another. So, like, there's probably a 2-inch drop from my driveway to the sidewalk. Now, I don't know if that's something the city is going to look at or whether that's something entirely different from the tree commission.
Yeah, unfortunately, tree commission doesn't do sidewalks. Jim, is there anything you can add to that?
Mr. Howe, have you signed up for the sidewalk program? Has anybody come out and looked at your sidewalks?
I didn't even know there was a program.
There is. Which we could put you in touch with. Actually, you could probably put John 311, put in a request.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you call it, put in a request for sidewalk.
So
Somebody will come out, look at it, and then they'll send you paperwork and you can fill out for sidewalk repair.
is that something the city does or something I gotta pay for or,
They do it. It's through the city program.
okay, okay.
And right now, they're just finalizing the 23 right now. The year 23 program,
Oh, I see.
which you may be able to still get on,
All right,
depending how much work they have.
okay, so just call 311
Mhm.
Yes,
sidewalk program.
sidewalk program.
There is a cost too, but it would be assessed over a
This is-
time frame. And
Check-
so
check.
it's not that bad. And the interest rate, whatever interest rate we, the city, get, whenever we, take out loans, et cetera, that we just pass that same amount. So it's not like a profit center for us, but
Yeah,
we make it as reasonable as possible.
I think it's assessed over 10 years, so.
So it's
and
not,
yeah,
In other words, it's added to like the property taxes.
correct.
All right, okay.
and they can give you an estimate on that.
Yes,
That'd be great. I felt that it was more prudent to fix the sidewalk before you put a tree, but since you're two different entities, thanks for telling me about the program.
Yeah, and I believe, if I could, if you don't mind, Mr. Howe, I would urge the the Public Service Department to maybe, give that consideration that you're willing to do this and, possibly that we need to maybe pay special attention to this if we can this year.
Okay, sure. Well, that's all I had as far as objection. I mean, again, I realize I can't stop you from putting a tree out there, but just wanted you to know where I was coming from.
Well, speaking for myself, I consider you fortunate to have a service berry. You've got fruit in the spring, it blooms. It doesn't get that big. It's not likely to heave the sidewalk, and it's not likely to shed so many leaves that you feel like it's a burden. So I think I got the best of the lot.
Now, the other thing I wanted to ask, or I noticed, is that on my side of the street, the tree is basically in the middle of the frontage, right? On the other side of the street, it's closer to the sidewalk. Is there some reason for that?
Where they were planted,
I would think it would be the same on both sides, right?
I'll have to look into.
yeah.
Okay. All right, just observation. Yeah, that was all my concern.
Okay. And I don't know that anybody told you, but we are not the final arbiters of this situation. So what we do is we make a recommendation to the service director, and it is up to him to decide about it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really object. I mean, if you want to put one there, put one there, but I was more concerned about the sidewalk.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you were here, so you got to find out about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Howe.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Good afternoon.
All right.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Under- What else is in the waiting room for the next hearing?
Yes, I have one more in the waiting room right now. I will let them in.
Is this Tom Duty? I don't see another Tom on the list.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Maria said that this might be Kaitsu Maslenka.
Yes, I'm here. I'm not very good at this, so please, I'm so sorry. There
No,
you go.
okay, we just wanted to know who you were. So it says Tom and Kath.
Oh, that's from my sister-in-law's. I don't usually do this kind of stuff, so that's where that came from. But my name is pronounced Kathy Sue or Ketty Sue, Miss Lanka.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Welcome.
nice to meet you all.
First, our law director, assistant law director needs to swear you in.
Okay,
Okay, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth? If so, please answer I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Should I just start?
Yep,
I've never done this before, so please be patient with me.
okay.
All right, we do not want a tree because we had a tree here and for some reason it was cut down and it was a healthy tree. And now we got the grass filled in. It looks really nice. I do have a zinnia bush in the corner and I do have a tree in the middle of my yard, but it's a smaller tree, but the bigger trees I'm worried about hitting our house too. And then when they cut them, they look so silly. You know what I mean? Because we have wires here and the house next to us doesn't have one. On the other side, it doesn't have one. And we finally got the yard looking beautiful. The grass is beautiful. It came out really nice. And we just don't want to deal with the tree. I mean, we took care of the devil strip for all these years. And I think we're doing a good job with it. We don't let our grass go nuts or anything. We clean it up nice. And it's just, we don't want one.
John, do you know what kind of a tree is slated to go there?
It's a Persian Perodia. It maxes out at 22 feet in height. It's considered a small, what you had out there or what was removed was a skyline honey locust. I'm looking at the picture prior to the tree even being removed. It damaged the curb. It had the curb pushed out into the middle of the road. It had the sidewalk. You were part of the sidewalk replacement program.
Okay.
Where you had your entire sidewalk replaced up front?
It was only 3 sections of it.
Okay, so that,
And the houses up the street, theirs is much worse. They're like this far up where, you know, for this thing, you have to take a step. And I use a walker. So I have to be very careful. And to me, this is just fine the way it is. I know you guys want to put a tree here. I understand that, but we busted our bus to get the yard fixed up, you know, to put fresh dirt there, seeded the whole thing. So, I mean, we've been in this house for over 20 years.
Okay,
This is the first time I've ever come and said, we don't want to do something.
okay.
You know, we don't pester anybody, you know.
Okay,
John, when was the tree taken down?
It was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Am I wrong or am I right?
I don't know, looking up the work order for that.
Okay.
Second.
I mean, the guy across the street, you guys took out his tree, it was never replaced, and there's nobody living there now. I mean, if I didn't have the wires, it wouldn't bother me. You know what I mean?
Well, one of the points that John made about the tree only getting to a certain height is it will never get cut like that other tree did, that honey locust. It won't interfere with the wires.
Okay,
Yeah, this is much smaller. This is much, a honey locust, which is what's lining your entire street. It has a very aggressive root system. You can see going up and down your street, the amount of damage that it does to sidewalking.
correct.
We limit that species since 2017, we limit that species to specifically tree grates in a downtown or thoroughfare area where you need a tough species in order to survive in the heavy salt conditions.
I mean, have you seen how the devil strip looks now? Has everybody gone past it, see how it looks?
Yes,
And,
it looks nice. I mean, the grass came in nice.
right, that's why we just don't want to ruin all that by putting a tree there. I mean, like I said, we bust our butts out there, we clean, we edge it, we do everything we can to make it look presentable all the time. And I just don't want to deal with another tree or anything. Because right now I could look out my window and I could see my neighbors and everything, and it's just, we just don't need it. And I don't understand why I have to get one and the other neighbors next to me, they don't have anything.
Well, and part of it is how names come up in the planning process. That's, that's not up to us at all.
Okay,
So it could be that next year, one of your neighbors might get a tree. Do you understand the reason why we think it's important to plant trees?
yes, I understand. It's for the water and everything. I understand all that.
Okay.
I mean, I understand that, but it's after all this time, we're used to not having it there, and we just don't want one there. I mean, I understand. I mean, we have a tree in the middle of our yard. I have like a little bush tree in the corner right by between our yard and my neighbor's yard. I mean, it's fine the way it is.
Hey, John, how big is this tree when it's planted right now?
It's a 2-inch diameter, so it's roughly 10 feet tall, somewhere in there, 8 to 10 feet.
Okay. One of the things I want to impress on you is that we do not make the decision, yes or no. We make our recommendation to the service director, and it is his decision what happens.
Okay. So does that mean we don't have a choice? We're going to have to get a tree there.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
It's
There's a
likely.
possibility. There's a possibility it might happen. Yes.
Yeah. But you will receive a letter letting you know what the final decision was.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I would appreciate it if we did put one there. Like I said, the yard looks nice the way it is. And I just don't want to go through all the headaches, because it's easier for us to cut the grass now on the devil strip, instead of going around the tree like we have done for over, I don't know, 15 years. Because we moved in here in 2000, and that 2000 we moved in here, and I mean, we've been doing everything we can. We don't pester anybody. Right now my husband can't cut grass because he has 3 hernias. So my neighbor across the street, she comes and helps us out. And it looks really nice just the way it is. It looks clean cut. You know what I mean? And that's what that's what I like about it. It's a clean cut grass.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would appreciate not getting one, because the last tree that was here, I mean, you guys marked it and we kind of painted over it so you guys wouldn't cut it down because it was such a beautiful tree, but with the storms and everything that we've been having, because up the street here off of Wingate and Winston, a tree came off and took out the lady's porch in that windstorm we had, last 2 weeks ago, I think it was. So, and the neighbor next to us, they took off their big trees because they're worried about the exact same thing falling on the houses. And I just don't want to go through and worry about that anymore.
Okay.
I'm being perfectly honest with you, and I appreciate you guys listening to me and listening to my concerns. And, like I said, we've done everything we can to make it look nice, and it is what it is.
Okay.
So
Thank
I don't
you.
know what else to do.
Yeah. Well, thank
Right.
you
Yeah.
for taking the time.
I do
Yeah.
appreciate you guys listening, and we just hope that we could come to an agreement on this. And if not, it is what it is. But like I said, we would prefer not to get one because it goes between the wires, and when they cut it, it looks so stupid when they cut the tree sometimes. You have to admit, when you go on one side, they're perfect, and on the other side, they're like split, and then you worry about the trees falling from that. When they're cutting them like that, they could fall and damage cars. I don't know if it ever happened or not, but it's like,
Okay.
So I do appreciate you guys listening to my concerns about it. And I just pray to God that it won't be done.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. You guys have yourselves a fantastic day.
You
Thank
too.
You.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, how do I leave? How do I go? Hopefully that's it. Oh, shoot, Rudy. Okay.
Miracles of modern technology.
That was a sidewalk replacement program.
That we took the tree down?
Yeah, we took it down in 2019. The request came in for a tree to be planted in 2019.
And they're the new owners in 2020. She said they moved in 2020.
No,
Okay.
she said they moved in 2000. So
Yeah.
So she requested a new tree.
Yeah, on August 28th, 2020.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I wonder if somebody made the request and she didn't know about it. I mean, because she's
He
pretty
called
good.
in.
She called in.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe she's changing her mind, trying to.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and I'm not entirely sure that she really heard us when she said she's getting a relatively small tree. That shouldn't be a problem with the wires.
No, it never will be. The unfortunate part is the skyline honey locusts that are on that street, quite frankly, should have never been planted on it. They're just not a tree to be put in a street lawn because you give it free range and it will tear everything up. And if I can share my screen, I just want to show you a picture of prior to this. You can see what it did to the curb here.
Oh, yeah.
That's raised up significantly. I mean, this is the problem with honey locust is it is a very aggressive root system. And if you look down the entire street, that is what is on that street.
Mm-hmm. Now the wires are just on the one side, correct? On her side?
Correct.
Okay.
And the other reason at over here at Firestone Boulevard for those to be offset.
On the one side?
Yeah, it's because we got new water line that went in. I didn't want, and that thing ran right down the center of that street lawn. So I did not want to put a tree right over top of that. But we come down here. Let me just find where the hydrant is. It's in this block here. So you can see this fire hydrant's dead center of that street
Right.
lawn, and that's why we offset. Typically, we would go dead center of that street lawn, but that's the reason why they're offset.
Makes sense.
Okay. Do we have anybody else?
I think Nina's on chat.
Oh, that's right.
No.
Okay. All right, so then should we go through and look at the other objections? If I remember correctly, Donna Webb's objection wasn't so much to having a tree as to what kind of a tree it was. Is that correct?
You want to just go right down through the list
Yeah,
Easiest.
here?
Yeah.
And page 2 is Miss Maslanka, who we just had. So we can go Donna Webb.
Yeah.
yeah, Donna Webb's the next one. Well, let me, before we do that, do we want to vote on the ones that have appeared before us, or do we just want to wait until the very end?
Either way you want to do it. Go one at a time or just do it as a whole. Well, let's do it one at a time. This way we don't have to go back.
Okay. So why don't we discuss and vote on Ms. Maslanka's request not to have a tree? And my feeling is,
I think she'll like it.
yeah. Well, and it's not going to be the kind of issue that she thinks it is. I mean, she's still seeing the honey locust. So, anybody else have any other thoughts?
And you said she had called in on the August 2020, right?
Correct.
So
August 28th of 2020.
she probably, the tree probably needs to be planted, and she just maybe is trying to recant.
Maybe she forgot. Although,
Maybe.
yeah.
I say the tree should be, go forward with it.
Okay.
I agree.
So I'll entertain a motion that we plant a tree in Ketisu Maslanka's tree lawn.
I'll
Motion.
second.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Aiken?
Aye.
Ms. Viviano? Aye. Mr. Fusco?
Aye.
Ms. Freidenberg?
Aye.
And Ms. Wyatt?
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay.
And Sarah, we will get a copy of these, so that way we know how to send these letters out.
Yes, so I looked at how we did it last year, and last year the commission sent a letter to the service director of the recommendations.
Okay.
So I can copy you on that as well.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
And I don't know whether we ever did anything with that recommendation. I'm thinking we did not send a letter out.
We did not. And
No.
so it's what we need to make sure. we
This
do.
we would definitely, after we go through these, absolutely.
Correct.
All righty.
Next,
Okay, there's my list.
The Donna Webb at 69 Edgerton. Those are actually being planted on the Conger side, so there will not be it's just her address faces Edgerton.
so it's not, so be our side yard there in the corner. She must be on the corner.
She is.
All right,
And there are 3 going in. I mean, like she states, it's 180 feet long. So we do have 3 going in on the Conger side. So I don't know if it's necessarily, this is an objection more than
what kind of trees going there, John?
accolade cherry. So it's a fruitless flowering cherry.
Okay. How big does it get?
About 25, 30 feet.
Okay. Are there wires on this corner?
Give me 1 second. No, there are not.
Okay. So I really don't see a problem about this one. I guess do you have a comment, Jeff?
Yes, thank you, Chair Bradenberg. My question is, and I don't know aesthetically how this would play out. I kind of joked here the other day, but would it, I don't know what the objections are, but what about 2 versus 3? I'm just throwing it out there as an idea, that's all.
I mean, based on spacing and what's available there, they have,
The large yard, I know.
yeah, on the side lot itself. They have, do this real quick. $230 of frontage on the Conger side. Or, I mean, on the Conger side. Versus, I think they only have like 40 feet of frontage on the Edgerton side.
Okay.
What applications are there, if you don't mind? I mean, the folks who may not zoom in with us, do they write down the objection, why, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can share my screen real quick because I have the objections listed here.
Yeah, and maybe for every one of these, John, if you don't mind giving us a little presentation.
Sure.
And just the address, the name, and then what the objection was. It might
Okay.
help.
Yeah, so this one here is just asking basically what is, they don't want them on the Edgerton side, but on the Conger side. And we have 3 being planted on the Conger side and nothing on the Edgerton side. So
Are
this
they
is a simple one. This is already resolved itself.
Okay. Okay.
Very good. So no action required?
No action required.
Okay.
1492 Brown Street. There are no wires on this side of the street. Oops, did my screen go blank?
No,
Okay. There are no wires on this street. It's a Princeton elm. We've been planting Princeton elms to replace. Dominion did a gas line project probably 12 years ago and did a lot of damage on this road when it came to trees, and they've been steadily declining. And we've had to remove quite a few of these. And this is just a replacement. We're going up and down all of Brown Street to replace these. And Jeff, you may remember this, but back in, right after the blackout, this area of Akron was the very first one that was hit hard by First Energy in their trimming program. The amount of complaints that came out. So it's been like a double whammy on this end of town here.
I'm assuming,
And they're discussing about the resurfacing project, the sidewalks. They're just opposed to a tree.
is this? That's the question.
Yep.
I'm getting a call. I'll be right back.
1492 Brown and 1496 Brown. I assume, is it fair to say that this is the same, it's not the same owner, but excuse me, that this is the same concerns or?
Correct.
Yeah.
So do they know whenever they apply or whenever we respond to this, that the tree that's going to be that's proposed for planting is a tree that's appropriate for the size of the and everything is taken into consideration. The
Yeah.
size, level strip, utility underground, the utility above ground. Are they made aware of all that beforehand?
Right, and that's spelled out in the letter.
Okay. What's the size on 1492 and 1496? Same kind of tree?
It's the same exact tree. They're both Princeton elms.
How
Let me get to that real quick here.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm in the middle of a meeting, so I need to get back to that. But no, I appreciate your call. Thanks. Bye-bye.
They're 44-foot frontages. I mean, so it's a standard city lot, but these are very wide. These are wide street lines or devil strips.
Are we still on Zollander?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
talking about Brown, because it's basically it's very similar.
Yeah, we're talking about a 10-foot wide street lawn. So this is the maximum size tree we can fit given the space available. I mean, this is a very large size street lawn in comparison to other areas of town.
Is it gonna reach the height? Is it gonna reach the wires or?
There are no wires on that side of the street.
Okay. Okay.
What about concerns about the root system?
I don't have concerns with the root system, not on that size of the street.
Okay.
So their concern is they just don't want a tree? I mean, is that bottom line or the basic? They just don't want a tree?
There's 3 complaints here. Or going after it 3 different ways. They're saying the sidewalks, the sanitary sewer, and the potential impacts to the sidewalk and road.
So the trees, were there trees there already previously?
There were at some point.
Was-
I don't know when this one was specifically removed.
So do you know if that tree that was there previously, was there an impact? Did it impact any of those concerns?
Not that I'm aware of. I can look here in City Works to see. Give me 1 second here. Um, No, the tree was marked for removal in 2011 is when it was removed.
Okay, and what kind of a tree was it?
Everything on Brown Street, those were Superform Norway maple.
Oh, God, thank God we got rid of that.
So I would say if it's not a problem with the trees just prior to and the trees are going in and they're feasible for the space and whatever the needs of that street neighborhood is, I don't see a problem with putting the trees in.
And this planting was up and down Brown Street is basically an infill planting to fill in all of the empty sites from Archwood all the way south to Waterloo Road.
Okay.
And this is just from 10 to 12 years worth of removals that we've performed since that gas line project.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll entertain a motion as to how we proceed with the J.J. Zollander request.
And that's also for the other Brown,
Triola. Yeah,
right?
1496, same one.
Both Brown,
Next
both
door
Brown
neighbor.
Street addresses.
Okay. All right.
Jonathan Triolo and what's the other one? Jody Shylander.
Yeah, Jonathan Triola.
Mm-hmm. And those basically were the same concerns, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and the 1496 Brown Street, that also was a Norway maple?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, both sides of the road, actually going all the way up to Lover's Lane, all the way south to Waterloo, were Norways.
okay. Okey doke. Well, you know, I think that what we are replacing compared to what was there is an excellent replacement. You know, I think some of these people think what they're going to get is what they had. So I would entertain a motion to accept the recommendation to plant a Princeton elm. And should we include both of them, the Zollander and Triola, since they're essentially getting the same
Yes.
thing? Okay,
I second the motion.
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Bibiano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Radenberg,
aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
John, can we go back down to, or back up, I should say, to 43 Hawthorne? Is that okay? That's just
Yeah.
the way. I
Yep,
think.
I'm going there right now.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to keep my list straight here. Okay, 43 Hawk. Because we have the same concern at 91 Hawthorne.
Oh, okay.
So it's 43 and 91. So here, the concern is, the brick streets are slippery when wet, and when flowers fall on the street, it's gonna be treacherous. So that's 43 Hawthorne, and this is a columnar Sargent cherry. It's a very narrow and upright flowering cherry. Again, all cherries, ornamental cherries, are small in nature. They will not obtain any kind of height or size to them. And this is a very narrow, this is one of the narrowest street lawns we would consider planting on. 3 feet is our minimum that we will look at. So it is a very narrow street lawn. And that's why the upright variety was selected. And if we go to 91 Hawthorne.
Hers is mainly a safety issue, plus the fear of the sidewalks heaving.
Yep,
Fruit isn't an issue on this, right?
no, there is no fruit.
Okay.
And all ornamental cherries are fruits.
Okay. Is there,
Here's
Okay.
91 Hawthorne.
yeah,
So
is there a way on these letters to address the specific concerns?
we
Or-
can,
You can do that?
yes,
Okay. Because I think it would be important that they understand what they're getting. I mean, I understand they don't want the leaves and all that good kind of stuff, but if fruit's an issue, I think they would need to know that. So I will entertain a motion to accept the city's recommendations for 43 and 91 Hawthorne Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Vredenberg,
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay. On to the next one. Tamara Morris, 1596 Preston.
We got 3 of them on Preston.
right.
Oh, 3, 4, 5, 4.
Are they the same issues?
Let me get that real quick.
Tamara Morris. Okay, she's back here, I believe.
Hey, John,
Yes,
can you make that bigger so I can read it? If possible.
let me try to do that here.
I apologize. I'm not at my desk.
That better?
Perfect, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
You said how many is on, it's more than one on this street?
Yes.
From
Do you know if they're all the kind of the same issue or is it different issues?
Let me go through.
1720 Preston, 1758, 1706.
Roots interfering with my underground pipes and lines. They don't want to replace their sidewalk when the roots start moving the ground. That's one. It'll block sun from my property. I don't want to clean up the mess the tree will cause. When the tree is trimmed. Hold on a second, my screen keeps blurring.
That's a big complaint from a lot of people when they come in and trim them
And-
trees. I get it, because it does look like crap.
It does, and that's why, I mean, that's why we had to do this and create that master planting plan. So no matter what, we wouldn't put a tall tree, anything that would get 25 feet or taller under the wires.
Right.
What kinds of, are there different kinds of trees for these 4 properties or same kind?
On the even side of the road, the even addresses, the
Mhm.
wires are on that side and it's an Accolade cherry. So that's an understory.
Okay,
On the non-wire side is an Ammer Mackay, which it gets about 35, 40 feet tall. There are no wires on that side of the street. So, but just in the sake of diversity, I had to introduce a new variety of it. Again, both of these have 8-foot wide street lawns. So we don't have an 8-foot wide street lawn will support a much larger tree, and we've gone with a medium size for this. So
okay.
I have no concerns with sidewalks in the
Right.
future. Nor the utility companies. I don't have any concerns with future involvement with trimming.
These are all on the even side too, so.
Yeah. Do we know where the one that has no address provided is? Molly Wahlberg?
No, I do not have that. Probably be the very last one. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Molly K. Mack.
I have a question that's gonna be whenever John gets back. Or maybe Tim, you could answer it. In terms of planting these trees, and many of the concerns valid, I think, but my question is like, how long does it take for, say, a root system to gravitate? I know that's not the right word, but to enter like the water pipes from the street to the house.
So water pipes, they'll never, because that's a pressurized system. That's a closed system. If you had a hole in your water pipe in the water supply line, we would have a geyser in the middle of the street lawn.
Okay.
The sewer is not under pressure. That's just a line. The
Okay.
problem here in Akron is it's all the old clay bell pipe that when they were installed, they had a rubber gasket at the end of each one. And those worked out for fine for 40, 50 years. And then as everything settles and deteriorates over time, now you have an opening, because Jim, what are those segments?
It's, yeah, the ground shifts after so many years and then the pipes, they move. So then the bells and gasket ends open up. And that's where you get the moisture, and the roots love the moisture, which they get inside and start doing all the damage.
Right. And I mean, I would love to look, I mean, we do this with mains, with the lining. If it could be even a possibility to ever look at something with lateral lining, almost like we do with the sidewalk program, where we came up with an assessment for something like that. And we stopped at the end of our right of way. And if the homeowner wanted to pick up the rest of it, then they could.
Right.
I don't know. I know it's expensive, but it's probably cheaper than digging up the roadway too, to put in a new line.
Correct. Not only that, but you know, John, with the gas Dominion doing all these gas mains and stuff, they have companies that are TV and every lateral before and after.
Yeah.
We're trying to get them worked into our system so we could put it into our GIS, which would be unbelievably fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you, because you're playing some up on Zeller, aren't you?
Yes.
Because I got one right now dealing with, get the address, well, I have it. I'm gonna have to take this tree down because the root system is so bad infiltrated in his sewer. That I'm gonna, you know, he's getting a drain company every 6 months. We've been out TV'd it 3 times. So I think we're gonna end up having to take this thing. But
Yeah. And I mean, as long as the pipe isn't collapsed, I think that the lining is an option. And then you have a solid piece of pipe that's brand new, to where there's not a point of infiltration possible for that root system.
very true.
Okay. And that's because oftentimes, like I said, you hear water line, but sewer line, obviously,
Yeah.
you guys are the subject matter experts. You know, that's the thing that comes across as a concern. But like I said, it sounds like there's almost another option for us to discuss maybe for another day, or a bigger than the tree commission itself. But it's going to take years and years and years.
I mean, it can happen, as you well know. A lot of these people are saying they don't want the issue to happen, and for us to go through all these to see if they ever televise their lateral or not.
Yeah.
Is another whole issue.
The tree, and that's my question, I guess, is the root system itself. How long would it take to go and do damage? I guess I don't even know if there's an answer to that.
Well,
There really isn't. There's so many variables.
no.
Okay.
And Roslyn and Greenwood are 80, 100-foot oaks that very rarely do we have any issues on those streets with sewer lateral problems. Believe it or not.
Wild.
But like that honey locust, I guarantee you it's going to find the water.
Yes.
You know, it's species driven for that answer. It's ground conditions. If it's granular soil, I mean, it's going to go deeper. If it's more of a clay type hard pack, they're going to stay shallow. I mean, so there are a lot of variables with that answer.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Thank you.
But I apologize. What was I supposed to?
Sorry.
It's all running together, huh, John?
Oh,
I
he-
just
the
I
four,
had something I had to deal with real quick.
trying to find the lady with no address, I think, but the 4 on Preston are all on the even side, so we're gonna,
Relatively small trees.
right,
Yeah, these are all ornamental cherries, accolade cherry, and they're fruitless. What they have out there are a lot of little leaf lindens, which are 40, 50 feet tall. They're all V'd out. And a lot of them have been removed on that street already.
Okay, which one is this one? Well, we need to respond to this one. So which person are we on?
We're
Well,
doing
it's-
Preston.
We're doing the
Avenue.
Prestons,
Yeah, Tamara Morris.
Shaw,
Yep.
Arnold, and Murray.
Mhm.
Okay, I will entertain a motion that we accept the city's recommendation for planting the ornamental cherries on 4 lots on Preston Street.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Vredenberg,
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okey doke. Next,
Casterton.
And this is 206 Casterton. So, this one up.
Where do you plant his trees, on his front yard or in the devil strip?
That's what
I don't, yeah,
these are all running together to me, so.
yeah, exactly.
206.
okay.
They must have planted them in their front yard.
What's he talking about, the double strip? Did he do it? Was there sewer lateral there? Why would we dump? Oh, they did something, dug up a water sewer line. I see it now. Yeah.
So basically, he's talking about the devil strip. He doesn't want it messed up. Is that what the issue is?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like. So planting a tree would mess up the devil strip that he has been taking care of. Yeah. So,
What do we do in the case of people who have planted on the devil strip? Do we leave the trees? Because there are trees there then now.
I don't see any trees here.
Okay,
You think maybe I got, what, we could look at that? You think there is trees there, John, or what's your,
I honestly can't remember.
yeah,
Maybe we hold off on this one.
maybe, yeah,
Let me look at this one.
okay.
I make a motion for time.
second,
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Vredenberg,
aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
aye.
The motion for time passes 5-0.
So we have 2 on Cypress that are next. One is 416 and the other is 419. Let me get over there.
This one. Cypress, okay.
My question on ginkgos is because they are not native. I understand we'd be planting male ginkgos, correct?
Correct.
But I guess that's my thought. Why are we planting non-native trees?
Because we don't have enough variety of sheer native trees to create any kind of diversity, especially when we consider street trees.
Okay,
I mean, the ginkgo is tried and true. It is fossil in the fossil record. It goes back to the age of dinosaurs.
right.
So there aren't a lot of insects that attack it. There's really no natural predators that attack the species. And ginkgo is one of those that has a male variety and a female variety. The fruit produced is putrid. It is a horrid smell, and it is a big mess. So that's why in this industry we go with the male variety. There's a couple different selections out there, but the autumn gold is one of those that's a tried and true cultivar or selection.
Okay,
How big does this get?
These get about 60 feet tall, but
Whoa.
again, this is an 8-foot wide street lawn, so it will support it. Now, these are very slow growing. These are not, it takes years for these things to even get established. Typically, if it's a 2-inch diameter tree, it takes 2 years for that root system to get established. These, on the other hand, they are slow growers.
what about her point on the pollen?
Well, with the male variety, you don't have that. I mean, I'm not on a cultivar as far as that, there's no flower for that.
Okay,
Assuming that we vote to disapprove the request, can you please make sure that the owner in this particular case is very much aware of that, of the pollen piece?
Yep.
And in detail?
Yep. So that's 416, and then 419.
that'd be right across the street.
Correct.
Duty,
Beauty.
Tom Duty is what I have. Okay, there we are.
Mhm. He doesn't really have anything on
He
there,
just says he just does not want a tree.
right?
What kind of a tree is going there?
Same thing on both sides.
Okay,
These houses are all fed, the wires are fed the backside of the lawn.
okay.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the recommendation of the service director on the two on Cypress Avenue.
Okay. I can second that.
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Bibiano, aye. Mr. Fusco.
Aye.
Ms. Bradenberg
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Palm. Glen Deal. Where is Palm?
It's right, it's the Cypress.
Oh, okay.
So Firestone Park,
Okay.
that was 381.
Yep.
Okay, so this is a Crimean Linden. Again, there are no wires on this side of the street. This is a 9-foot wide street lawn. This tree will get about 45 to 50 feet in height at full size.
I was going to say, this isn't the letter that we're talking about. It is Deal, Glen Deal. There we go.
So he does live on a corner lot. So on Holly, he does have 2 trees on Holly. And this would just be to plant one in the front there.
Okay. And this would also be a ginkgo?
No, this is a Crimean Linden.
Crimean Linden, okay.
It's a medium-sized tree, but this is a 9-foot wide street lawn. His concern is there's a dip from the last tree, and that's probably where, after being stump ground out,
Right.
it's settled. So this would actually solve the problem.
Would it be possible to have somebody go to this property and look at, oh, he's talking about on the street lawn. I thought he was talking about the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would also, it seems like a valid concern that he has, reference the street lighting. Can we prioritize that with Ohio Edison? Ask them to make a priority of it?
Well,
Right.
we could do that, but
Ask.
It sits right on the corner.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of it right here.
I still see the objection if you're trying to share a picture.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yep, my hand's still up. Sorry.
But where this marker is where the tree would go. Here's the street light.
Okay.
that an inlet right there too, John?
Yes. And we're about 10 feet off from that end.
Yeah. I see the storm runs about 5 feet off the curb there.
Yeah.
It's like that inlet needs work.
Probably new curb. Okay, so that is Palm.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to accept the city's recommendation for 381 Palm Avenue.
Second,
Okay,
Mr. Aiken,
aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco.
Aye.
Ms. Freidenberg
aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay.
Just did that was Mr. Howell for 788 North Firestone.
Yeah, we already, he was on. I make a motion that we plant there.
Second. Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco.
Aye.
Ms. Freidenberg
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
That motion passes 5-0.
I'll call Chuck House about his sidewalk too.
<clears throat> 1519 Beardsley.
Okay, this is a corner lot. The tree's actually being planted on cypress. So this is a ginkgo. This is just right in the same block as the last two or the last one on cypress that we had. Or the last two.
I'm sorry, John, you say it's gonna be planted on the front of her house or on the side?
It's the address is Beardsley, but
but
the tree is actually being planted on cypress. So
okay,
it's very similar to these other two that we had on cypress. These are both autumn gold ginkgo.
You don't have video up of downtown, do you?
What's the concern?
Let me get to that.
I think she was more concerned about where the tree was going to go than whether it was going to go in.
And there isn't room on Beardsley, and that's the problem with it. You know, if you're on a corner lot, it doesn't specify what side it's being planted on, and maybe that's something I can change to clarify
Okay.
in the letters going out. Because there is already a tree on the Beardsley side, so.
Okay.
Was that the objection, the reasoning?
Yeah, she said she doesn't oppose it, but she wanted to know which street it was being planned for. So is there room for another tree? She's got one on each side?
There, actually, there's already one planted on cypress. And that's where the long side of her street lawn is, or of her property is.
Okay. So you would be planting it on the cypress side?
Correct. Right here is where the tree will be planted.
Okay,
There's currently one right here.
okay,
And up front, there's one there, and there's not enough room before we get to that intersection
okay.
on the Beardsley side.
So then this letter would basically say, you know, it's not going to go where it's all crowded.
Correct.
You go on the cypress side. Well, that one was relatively easy. Do we really need to take any action on that?
No, I think it's just a clarification. I'll send them. We already did 91 Hawthorne, so now 44 Whitney.
Okay, and his was the handwritten letter. Okay, this is another question about more where than whether. Okay, basically, he's just asking for somebody to reach out to him.
As to where they're putting it?
Yeah. He said there's an area that had a tree there. But the city cut it down years ago.
Is that going in front of his house, John?
I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
Is it 444?
Yes.
WHITNEY?
Yep.
Whitney.
Hmm.
Where is that located?
On the west side, off of,
Yeah.
Copley, like off of Tridelia.
Mm. Yeah, if it were off Dealey, it would be closer to Exchange, I think.
Like Madison, Delia area.
Yeah, yeah,
So one off of that, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Hard time with this.
Emlyn Peckin. Work. Whittier might be what we're thinking.
Whittier's off of Madison and that Delia.
Right, right. I'm not quite
Oh,
sure.
this is South Park.
East,
Yeah.
I thought- looked it up. It's East Akron.
Yeah.
Between Arlington and say, Inman.
I got it now. Okay, this is Golden Glory Cornelian cherry dogwood. Yellow flowering understory dogwood. It's anthracnose resistant. It's quite hardy. All the Cornelian cherry varieties are. This is an understory. If it's going to get 18 feet tall, I would be surprised.
Yeah.
Location is going to be right here. We're almost 100 feet away from that stop sign, so we have plenty of sight distance till we get to that stop sign. It's a 5-foot wide street lawn, so that's why we stuck with the small size.
Looks like no overhead lines either.
Nope. Yeah, all the wires are on the other side.
Yeah, and Cornelian cherries do bear fruit, although it's not a nuisance fruit, if I'm correct.
You're correct. They're picked clean long before they even become ripe and anything falls. We have quite a few of these in the Kenmore area. I've never had one problem with any of them. So typically the birds eat all the fruit long before they even become ripe and go to fall.
Yeah,
But again, it's not, when I say fruit, especially on this variety, I mean, it does produce some, but it's not prolific.
right. Okay, well, he's not objecting. He just wants information which we can supply him in the return letter, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
And I will go ahead and do that. Our last one is 308 Zeller.
I have one for the Brooklyns too.
334.
344, the Brooklyns.
Okay.
So Zeller. Where is Zeller?
Glenwood, North Hill.
Okay.
John, go to Glenwood Bar and Grill there, buddy. It's right there in the corner.
Yeah, we're right here. We have a bur oak going in here. This is a fairly large size street lawn. I will take and you can see this is at least a 9-foot wide street lawn. Bur oak is one of the smaller of the oaks. Currently, there's red maple up and down this street. The problem with this area and the reason why I introduced oak is Julian is all red maple, Montrose is all red maple, Zeller is all red maple, Patterson is all red maple, Oxford is all Norway maple. So we have very little species diversification over here. And just like the emerald ash borer, if we had if the what is that? Asian longhorn beetle were to enter into Akron, that entire neighborhood would be wiped out.
Whoa.
And that insect puts like shotgun hole size holes in size trees. And it's more structural than anything.
Complaint.
There's no wires on this side of the street. Again, oaks are slower growing.
She has concerns about, well, there's nothing, I doubt that the tree next door is going to hit her garage again. The sidewalk problems.
That sidewalk looked pretty good when you did the street view, John.
Right.
I think she was saying neighbors on both sides.
Now, even on this, I mean, you can see this is about a 24-inch diameter tree. And red maples have a very shallow root system. I mean, it really doesn't look that bad.
Really?
I've seen much worse in the city.
Yeah, both of those look fine. Now, would there be issues with these sidewalks coming up?
I don't, if the red maple here, which is a much shallower root system, and because you can see all that surface, all those surface roots here. And I mean, I can see it's heaved a little bit here, maybe an inch or two,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a very shallow root system that, these are October Glory red maple. So if that's the type of damage that's happening on a shallow, this is a much deeper root system on oaks in general. I'm not so concerned with that.
Okay.
The downspout is all the way on the one side, so we have plenty of room in here with, as far as being able to put a tree in. And when this was marked, I believe the gas is over here and water's somewhere around here as well.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. What was that motion, Mr. Aiken?
To plant a tree.
Okay,
The bur oak on Lisa Bittner's property on Zeller.
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco?
Aye.
Ms. Freidenberg
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay. The Brooklands is Goodyear Heights.
I
Address
Oh,
is
there it is.
can't find it. Raising my hand.
Standridge.
what were the addresses for the Brooklands?
344.
Okay.
There's, reference 344 Brooklands.
Yes.
Just that I do know that there's some other trees there too, but there's some plans in terms of that particular area, long term. And so I would suggest on this particular one here that we approve the request of the property owner. And I had a discussion with Mr. Malish about that, at least for this one here, to delay it until we find out some more information. But I would just suggest that perhaps we approve the request of the resident.
Well, I don't even see the request. Did it not get included? I mean, it's on the list of objections, but I don't see one included in the letters.
Maria, are you still on with us?
Apparently not.
Okay, I think that was one of the late,
Yes,
there was a late objection that came after
Okay.
the
Yeah, I think that
PDF of
was-
all of the objections.
I think that was the late objection. I'm sorry. That
Okay.
was the late objection.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Maria. I thought that was the case, but I didn't want to give false information if that was not the case. Thank
What's going on over there, Jeff?
There's some long-term plans for development possibly, so and it's just in the planning stage and it's a long term. So I think, to table this one for a year or so at minimum would be probably prudent.
And Jeff, we were talking from 344 all the way up to 374.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and perhaps we could reevaluate this after a year, just so that things are clear. Because I don't know if they are right now or not, but I think it'd just be prudent to kind of kick the can and not plant these, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. So just respectfully request that.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to postpone action on 344 the Brooklands pending further information about city's plans.
Thank you. I'll second it.
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Freidenberg,
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay. And that's it, right? Oh, there it is. Okay.
We had the one that there was no address provided.
Right.
Should we go ahead and make a motion to approve what the city recommends?
John, do you know with the name? No?
No, I don't, because we just send it out for the address
Okay.
and just say, dear resident.
Okay. Well, I guess not knowing where she's talking about, our hands are tied. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the planting at the no address provided by Ms. Molly Wahlberg. I believe it's Mac.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Freidenberg,
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay. I do believe that's the last of it. So we can end the public hearing. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Okay. On with more business.
I have an appointment at 3:30. Is it okay if I go?
Yeah, you can go on YouTube. We don't have much to discuss, but a couple of things.
I just wanted to, before I leave, I wanted to make sure that you and John got the email that I sent about April the 26th. I know
No.
I said that I said I was be able to go, but I checked the calendar again. I sent you guys the email the next day after our last meeting. I'm not going to be able to make it. We have a real big event going on at the school that I'm in charge of.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
I guess you have to be there, huh?
have to be there because I really wanted to go. That's why. So I checked it again and I said, that sounds familiar, but I'm not going. So you guys didn't get my email?
So,
Um,
yeah.
Yep, got it.
Oh, you did get it?
No,
Oh my goodness.
I did not.
Okay, so I sent it right after our meeting because I want to check the calendar again. But I
Okay.
will be able to make that's Monday, the one at Firestone. Is that still on, right? The 24th?
28.
Oh, 28th.
28th, that's right.
Can't make the 26th, but I can make the 28th. The 28th is at 10 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. At Firestone.
Firestone. Okay,
Just so you know, we may not have a logo because we submitted 3 to Margot Somerville, to Chris, and to the mayor, and we've gotten President Somerville's choice, but we have not gotten either of the others. So we might not have a logo this year, or
I
at
can
least not in
check with
time
them.
for Arbor Day.
we've been trying so hard for that logo.
One of these days.
Okay, guys.
But they're a little busy.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I do have to go. I have an appointment at 3:30. So
Okay.
you guys
Thank
need
you,
to email.
Tricia.
Thank you. You all take care, okay?
You too.
Take care. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Wow, 2 hours.
I know.
Although I think the rest of this is going to go fairly quickly. It's under new business discussion about Urban Forest 330. I talked with James Robinson earlier today, and John, he tells me that you know who he is?
Yes,
Okay. From what I understand, this is a for-profit company that buys land in urban areas. I think in Akron, they've purchased some land in North Hill. And basically what they want to do is plant trees. We can't object to that. What I think he is looking to us for is he wants to apply for Inflation Reduction Act funds and wants our support in doing that. I'm not entirely sure that's what he wants. We didn't get a chance to talk very long. But he said he wants to work with the city to get grants and acquire for long-term use to plant trees and then maintain them. And the tree commission possibly as a sponsor or to help his company navigate the city. I would like to talk with him a little bit more. He's willing to meet for coffee somewhere. And I would very much like to have one or two of my colleagues go with me. So, it's always good to have more than one person on these things. So I will talk. Well, let me ask you this, because he's wanting something from us. What would be a decent time, like middle of the afternoon, late afternoon, that we would, want and spend a half an hour or so talking about this?
Got to be cautious, if I could, Chair Bradenberg. We have to be cognizant of having a quorum, which would be 3, I believe. If Sarah Biviano can chime in, but I think if it's just 2 of us on an individual meeting, but if it's 3 or more, that would have to be published.
Yeah, you're right. You're
But
right.
on an individual basis would be okay, or maybe 2 meetings.
Yeah, it's just, I don't want to be the only person talking to this guy. Especially, I don't know the ins and outs of the city. Probably, John, you're the most likely person to be talking to.
yeah, and I tried getting in the webinar earlier today about this, but the Inflation Reduction Act set aside 1.5 billion for urban forestry activities.
Wow.
They are looking for, there's a $50 million cap, and Akron is considered a disadvantaged community. So I've already been in discussions with ODNR about this.
Okay.
And we're also going to put an application together here as the city.
Okay.
Because it doesn't cover equipment or infrastructure. So, but what it does cover is planting, programming, on-the-job training, personnel. And I have quite a few ideas on, and I think we can put together a very strong application. I'm not opposed to meeting with Mr. Robinson. Probably maybe 3 years ago, he purchased property up on where Euler Memorial Parkway, where those both intersect. all that property to the east of there, along that hillside.
Spalding and all that, wasn't it? Jeff?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Spalding.
correct.
Yep.
He bought a lot of property through there and has planted it as a business
Venture, right?
venture. I'm not sure what that business venture is, because if it's logging or I honestly don't know what the end goal is here.
My understanding from talking to him is he is interested in helping the city increase tree canopy.
And
Very seriously, logging is part of the business plan.
well, there was something about the harvesting that went along with this.
Okay,
And that's what I'm not sure of how this all incorporates.
okay,
I'm not. And again, this was about 3 years ago, and we've had conversations since, because he is looking for more and more property to purchase.
What does he want? He wants us to give him the land, or does he want to buy the land, or?
of course, he'd probably prefer we give it, but no, he said he's going to be talking to the land bank folks, and he's trying. Yes, Jeff?
I could, and I don't want to interrupt, sorry, if you're done, but I would like to ask Attorney Advent if perhaps Chair Bradenberg, another person from the commission, and if Mr. Malish he's not officially on the commission, if the three individuals could meet with this person and then provide a report for the commission. If that would be adequate, if that would be okay.
Yeah, I think that shouldn't be a problem, because it's not a quorum. Wouldn't be a quorum that would be meeting with the person, so.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good way of going forward. And then, and then perhaps they could provide us with a report, having more information for us.
Okay.
That'd be okay with
Yes.
everyone?
Yes.
I guess then it's just coordinating all of our schedules.
Yeah, just send me a couple dates. Send a couple dates out to him, or include me in the email, and.
Okay. Okay, and just ballpark time, late afternoon better for you?
Early mornings are better.
Okay. Jeff, how about you?
I wasn't nominating myself, Chair Bradenberg. I was making a recommendation, but if Mr. Aiken would like to do that, that might be better. But I'm happy.
I'm gonna post, yeah, I mean,
My schedule for 2 weeks is going to be tied up.
I hear you. Well, I don't think we do it that quickly.
I
Yeah,
agree.
and the applications are due June 1st for this.
Okay,
Sarah, put a couple of dates together and then send them out, see who's available.
okay. Okay,
But this is going to be a very competitive grant process. That's a 1.5 billion from the federal government for urban forestry operations. I've never seen anything like that in my 23 years here.
okay. Do you see them as a competitor?
I don't know. I'd like to hear what he has to say.
Okay. Okay,
It seems as though, if I could, that we ought to really think about, above and beyond, the urban forest 330, but, who would be likely, and maybe John, you've already done this, but would be good, because a lot of times you get more points, and it also, more than that, it makes sense to have partners in this kind of thing. And the more have sometimes, and I don't know what partners would make more sense than others, but this is definitely worth something for us as a commission to spend time on, and to, really support our city, Mr. Malish and the service department in terms of applying for this. And so protecting them as much as we can. This is right up our ballywick or whatever.
Right.
Okay. If possible, and Jeff, I understand, well, Jim, maybe you would be the better person. If we could do this within the next couple of weeks, then John still has, I mean, I know you're already in the process, but has a full month then. And we will have a better idea how we might or might not work. I don't know if this is going to be possible or not, but I think we owe it to ourselves to find out. Okay. Well, I will look to, when you say early morning, are you talking 8, 9 o'clock?
Sure.
Okay.
I start at 7, so whenever.
Okay. Jim, how about you?
Well, I got meetings in and out all day, but just, yeah, if you get some dates or times and we'll make it,
Okay.
unless, whatever we got going on here.
Okay. I'm going to work on about 8 o'clock a.m. Okay.
Middle of the week, not Monday or
Middle of the week.
Tuesday,
Monday to Tuesday, Wednesday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay. I will get back to you with a couple of dates.
Okay.
All righty. Next on the agenda. Oh, logo contest update. Well, you've probably got all the information we do. We have one design that was chosen by Margot Somerville, and we have not heard from the service director's office. Maybe Jim, you could give him a poke and just remind him.
Yep.
And I have no idea, it's like, given everything that's going on, I'm sure Dan has much more bigger fish to fry than judging a logo contest, but it would be nice if we could get that. Clearly, we're not going to have anything for next week, so we'll just have to show up and celebrate Arbor Day. Okay, and speaking of Arbor Day, we are still on track for 10 o'clock on the 28th.
Yep.
Planting a
Application for the reservation's been sent in. And I did talk to Joe. I mean, we did get it. They just don't make announcements till that day.
Okay, good. So here's the question: is the mayor going to be able to join us for Arbor Day? I mean, back when I talked to Gert about it, it was, not as big an issue. I'm kind of hoping next week won't be as big an issue either.
I can't answer that for him. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will shoot over an email just to remind them that this is coming up. And if he wants to send a representative, that works too. Okay.
Okay.
I do believe that's about everything on our agenda. Again, thank you all for being here. It's been a long process, but we made it. And I will see you all next week at Firestone.
Okay.
Have a good
Okay.
afternoon. Thank you.